What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Arsiney. Let's get productive. So the other day, surfing Instagram, I came across an ad for a new VST called Octane. I saw it was only $9.99, so I figured what's the worst that could happen? Either it's going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. If it's bad, I only lost $10, no big deal. But one of the things that stood out to me about this plugin, Octane, it had a lot of features in it. I was looking at the photo of the plugin and it had a lot of features in it. Like, it had an equalization section. It had a freaking motorcycle just went by. It had an equalization section. It had a section for layers. It had a lot of different effects, and reverbs, and a lot of things that you typically see in a more expensive rompler. It had in this plugin for only $9.99. So I just figured, you know what, I'm gonna just check this thing out and see what it's all about. And I'm really happy I did, because it's a really good VST. And we're gonna discuss some of the things that I like, and we're gonna discuss, I think there's only one thing that I don't like. So we're gonna go over the pros, we're gonna go over the cons, and we're gonna mess around with this plugin a little bit, go over the sounds, maybe make a quick little beat with it, and check out this new plugin, Octane, because it's a really great value for the money. So one of the pros that I think is really phenomenal about this plugin is the GUI itself. As soon as you see the GUI, even though the plugin is only $9.99, you're gonna get a sense that this company takes pride in what they do and they actually care about the user just from the interface alone. You can resize the VST to fit practically your entire screen, which is something that's rare. A lot of VSTs don't allow you to resize the GUI. And then when you can resize the GUI, you can only go so big. And then when you try to resize it to its max size, a lot of times you lose the resolution, so it starts to look a little faded and funny. This plugin, you can practically take up your whole screen. I mean, I have a 17-inch display, it's 5K, and it still maintains great resolution, and you can resize it to fit the whole screen. When you start going through the GUI, you'll notice that there's a lot of different functions in this VST, and they set it up in the GUI in a very pleasing way to the eye. So even though there's a lot of different things you can do to tailor the sounds and to tweak the sounds in different kinds of ways, the GUI is so clean looking that you don't get lost in it. So you have an equalization section, you have a section for the layers, you have a section for arpeggiators, you have reverbs and just LFOs and all these different things that you get in your more expensive romplers, you have in this $9.99 package. And the sounds are the same as, you know, most of the sounds you would hear in your typical rompler and VST, but it's different somehow. Like, it has a lot of the same types of sounds, but as soon as you hit the key and you listen to these sounds, you're gonna really recognize that whoever curated the sounds for this VST, they really went out of their way to tweak these things so that they have their own kind of signature and their own characteristics that's different than a lot of the other VSTs that's out on the market right now. So with all of the things that I've said that I like about this plugin so far, there's really only one thing that I've noticed that I'm not really feeling, and the main thing is that there's a few sounds in there that the volume is off. You could be going through the sounds and you could be playing the sound on your keyboard and then press the arrow to go down to the next sound and hit your keyboard and blow your eardrums out because that sound is way louder than the last sound. That's not with all of the sounds, so it didn't bother me that much because the majority of the sounds are fine. And I feel like that's something that could probably be fixed with an update. So I feel like it's probably a new company. If we give them time, it'll be adjusted with the update. But yeah, those are the things I like. That's the one con that I don't like. And let's jump right into this plugin and see what this thing can actually do. Let's get it. So I'm gonna just open up the instrument right here. You can see I have Octane set up, ready to go in Logic. And we're gonna just go through some of the sounds real quick. I'll show you the GUI. So this is Octane right here. Like I said before, you could resize this thing to fit your entire screen, as you can see, and the resolution is still pretty impressive to resize this thing. Well, we're gonna just take up the whole screen right now with Octane and just go through some of these sounds. Well, first we'll go through the section and see what it is that we're doing with this plugin. You have a few different sections for effects right off the back. You have your delay right here, your reverb, your trance gate. Let me get a sound going. I just use this bell for example. You have a delay here. The delay is on. The reverb is on. Obviously, you know what to do with your reverb. You have your wet knob, your dry knob. You can adjust the size of the verb, the width of the verb. That's another thing with this plugin that's really cool is over here you have your stereo image, and you can actually adjust the stereo imaging of all of the sounds on here, which is a effect that I don't see in a lot of plugins that come around this price range. You know, you can adjust the width, the mode. You can skew the stereo stage for the sound that you're using. You can center it, balance it, all of these different things. You have a distortion up here in the top right corner. You have your filter, standard stuff there. And then you have your glide knob here. And you have a transgate, which is awesome. So you could turn your delay up, turn the mix up in the delay. Put more feedback, change the time, adjust the balance of the delay, so the delay could be more on the left or the right. You can add more verb. You know, get that sound going with more verb. And then you see right here, you have a little bit of imaging for the wave pattern for the sound, which is just, doesn't really matter, doesn't really do anything. It's just something really cool to look at. But what does matter is this tab up here. That same wave file right there, you have the equalizer, and you can adjust the EQs of the sound, and you can adjust the frequency of each of those bands, the gain, and you can do that with this plugin, which was really shocking to me because, again, usually at plugins around this price range, you don't see stuff like this. And again, if you notice just how smooth this GUI is, just how clean everything looks. It's not a whole bunch of different colors. Like, they didn't get too crazy with the designs and tried to make it look too extra. You know, that kind of stuff can really get really confusing to the eyes. They just gave you two tones. You have gray, light gray, dark gray, black, and then you have the knobs. And then you can see the effects of the knobs with this kind of blue neon glow going around the knobs. And I think it just makes it really easy to focus on what it is that you want to focus on without getting too confused with all of the different things that's happening in here. If you go to this tab over here in the middle, you have layers. So you have layer 1 here, you have layer 2 here. You can go through the sounds and change them. So right now I'm using the music box sound on layer 1. I can change that to building blocks. And I can keep I can turn layer 2 on, and let's see, I can go to, let's find something for to add to layer 1 with layer 2. So I can add that lead rather. I said lead, bugging. Let's try a trap choir. And on layer 2, I can adjust the gain. And I can go back to layer 1 and turn that gain down. So you have your attack knob here. You know, you have your release. So you have, and then down here, for each of these layers, it comes with its own arpeggiator. So I can turn the arpeggiator on. You know what I'm saying? And I can adjust them separately. So I just added the arpeggiator to the bell sound. Instead, I can add the arpeggiator to the choir strings. And you just hear how clean and how nice that sounds. Like, I'm not even taking this seriously right now. I'm just going through random sounds just to show you what this thing can do. And it already sounds really nice. So that's layers, and you go back to your main page here. This sound right here sounds dope. I like this sound here, so we're gonna go with this. Do that. And this is a good way to check check out some of the EQ settings, because I feel like the sound has a little bit of muddiness, which I like some of that because it gives it a nice texture, but I want to get rid of some of that bass. Like that. That's good. We'll do that. That's what we're gonna add. Do that. I don't necessarily want to lead for this beat, but I'm noticing that a lot of the sounds in these categories, they have so many different characteristics to it that there may be something that shocks you, and you kind of need to go through all the sounds to see what different shocking things there are, because the leads don't necessarily all sound like typical leads, and the pianos don't sound like typical pianos. But that sounds like a typical lead. Guitars. Nice nylon guitar. Got woodwinds down here. We can add some woodwinds to this. We'll add that. See some more of these strings. That right there. That's crazy. Cardiac strings. That would sound crazy. I'm gonna add some reverb. That should sound crazy. And we're gonna just throw that in there. So we added a bunch of things from the Octane VST Could do a quick run through the beat real quick. So that is a beat made with Octane, and just to bring it back to the VST itself, yeah, I'm really happy with this VST. The only thing that really throws me off is some of the sounds. The volume is a little bit low, and I wish that everything could be kind of leveled. But I really feel like that's something that could be fixed with a software update. So hopefully that's something that they get to sooner than later. But other than that, I'm really excited about all of these different kind of sounds they have in here. They have a lot of different sounds to really play with. And at $9.99, you really can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong with the GUI itself. The interface is awesome. There's a lot of different things you can do to tweak your sounds, and you know, that's cool in itself. But then the presets and the, you know, the different sounds that this thing comes with. Well, let's start with the presets. You go through the categories, you go through the presets. The sounds that it comes with are already dope. Let's see some brass. I didn't really go through any brass. So there's a lot of different sounds, and then you can kind of tailor the sounds to be however you need them to be. But the characteristics of the sounds are really different. The texture is just crazy. See what I mean? Like, it's a brass, but it doesn't sound like your typical brass. And I don't know, I don't want to keep saying the same things, harping on the same things over and over again, but I really like the sounds that come in this VST. They're really different. That alone is enough to spend $9.99 on the VST. It comes with a lot of those. And then you have 2 layers here that you can kind of create your own sounds and save your own presets. And that just makes it that much more fun. The GUI is really cool. Really interesting to look at, and it kind of just checks off all the boxes on my checklist as far as what I'm looking for VST. So I would say that the Octane VST is awesome and definitely worth $9.99. And anyone out there that's wondering if this is something they should check out, it's definitely something you should check out. I guarantee you will be making entire beats with this VST alone. So yeah, this is Octane. I'm Arsiney, and thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like this review, please subscribe to my channel and check out some of the other reviews I have for other VSTs. I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews. I'm also going to be having a lot more in-depth conversations about music in general and different tips and tricks and techniques that I do when I'm creating songs. If you have any suggestions of VSTs that you would like to see reviewed on my channel, please leave them in the comment section, and let me know what you're working on right now. Like, in the comment section, let me know what VSTs you're using and what new plugins you're really interested in. Oh, I have a top 5 best plugins of 2020 that I'm gonna be doing for not for instrument plugins. This is just plugins for effects. So for effect plugins. So if you have any plugin suggestions that you think I should check out for that top 5 of 2020, let me know. Leave it in the comment section. I'll definitely check it out. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.